Hold up. You thinking about going ahead and putting a trigger on that piece of land? Hold up. Wait a minute. Listen to this before you buy that land. Listen to this before you put your money down. Listen to this before you sign the dotted line. Listen. One of the things I definitely want to recommend is that what? Do you have an electrical guy, a carpenter? Do you have someone who can deal wells? Is there a place where you can get different quotes from multiple people? Or are you just stuck with Jimbo down the street and all you have is Jimbo and his cousin and his sister-in-law to take care of everything that you... Hey, bless up, fam. So let me share with you some things that you probably never considered before buying land. If you on the fence, you got your choice between one property versus another property, or you're thinking about one area versus another area, let me share something with you. You're going to want to check this out. So come on. One thing that a lot of people overlook, I'm telling you, please pay attention to this. Decide where you want to buy your land. If the lot or the piece of land you're looking for, look at the area. Are there homes around there? Is it a metropolitan area? Is it on the outskirts of a city, of a town? My question is, ride around, roll the block, ride around, and then take a look and see what type of infrastructure do your neighbor property has. If your neighbor property has a well, and you walk and you're riding around, you see a lot of properties that have wells, there's a good chance that you may have to get a well. If you don't see no type of well, and for those of you that are city slickers, if you don't see this little house, little small house, or a little like a tubular type object sitting in front of the home, you might not have a well. Hey, another thing is, if you don't see people who are living country style, growing farms, doing different cattle, having a bunch of different things that you're trying to do, my question is, where are you going to get your feed from? Where are you going to be able to trade for your livestock? Veterinary, how are you going to get veterinary care? How are you going to self-sustain? If there's no meat market nowhere around, look for those things in the community. Look for your stores to have fresh meat. Look for your neighbors to have livestock. Look for the area to have what you're trying to do. If your area does not have that, understand, you might have to travel 50, 60, 100 miles to get done basic stuff. So understand this. That's an added cost. Another thing is, so you're talking about having a country store, you're talking about having a fruit stand, you're talking about having a nursery, you're talking about having all of this different stuff. If there's no traffic, where are you going to set it up at? Okay, if you do find a place of traffic, how long is the commute? Getting started is hard. It's rough. People don't know you. They don't like you. They don't trust you. So understand this. You might have the greatest vegetables. You may have the greatest fruit. You may have the greatest livestock in the world. But understand that a lot of this stuff is based on know, like, and trust. So if you're in a rural community, no one knows you, don't know where you came from, you buying all this land, you popped up here, you seem aggressive, you seem pretty strong, you seem very forthcoming. It's people that took 1 and 2 generations just to get where you coming from because you sold your $500,000 property or your $350,000 property. Now you're buying a $80,000, $90,000 piece of property cash. People talk, and then they're going to say, hey, who is this? Who is this city slicker coming in here? So you may have the greatest product, greatest service, but understand, you got to build and you got to grow with the community. I keep saying this time after time and time again. Know your community, keep your finger on the pulse of the community, and then be prepared to provide great service to the community and be prepared to interact with the community. If you are a person where I came out here to be by myself, I came out here to be alone, listen, my friend, Networking is so crucial, and it's a different type of networking in rural communities. You selling on Amazon. You big time. You selling on Amazon. You getting stuff shipped in. You got an online store. What about your internet? Do they even know your address? What about accessibility? You got a gate in front of your land because you don't trust whoever. Can they get in? Will you get deliveries? Will you get good, consistent internet? Can you go live? You're a content creator? Think about these things. All of this stuff you got to weigh into and make sure that you know your environment, know what you're trying to do. The bottom line is know what you're getting into. Know what your desires and what you want before you dive into this rural country type environment. Know the cost when you have to pipe in electrical, when you have to do infrastructure as far as sewage, well, where you have to actually make it accessible to make deliveries. If you have a post office where you don't want people to come in and bring things directly to you, you want to truly be in the woods off grid, where's your nearest post office? How far is it? What's the hours? If you're still trying to transition from a dated 9 to 5 or 8 to 5, then you got to commute for a 1 hour, 2 hour commute round trip. And the post office is open from 10 to 2. Let me tell y'all, the country is different. It hits different. When you out here in this rural area, understand that. If you're thinking about having a country store, you're thinking about having a little food market, you're thinking about having a nursery, do your audience, do your community even buy plants, or are they just growing their own? Do they do more trading versus buying? One of the things I definitely want to recommend is that what? Do you have an electrical guy, a carpenter? Do you have someone who can deal wells? Is there a place where you can get different quotes from multiple people? Or are you just stuck with Jimbo down the street? And all you have is Jimbo and his cousin and his sister-in-law to take care of every establish your homestead. Understand this. Call, get to know your neighbors, understand what they do as far as resources before you dive into this thing. Because that can be a make it or break it between one property versus another. If I had one piece of land that may have had all kinds of resources and all types of different businesses that offer services, and then one that would be so secluded and so relaxed, you got to weigh the cost. The bottom line, you just got to weigh the cost. Understand, do you want seclusion? You try and do everything on your own, but understand there's permitting. The county, do they have the resources to come in? How strict are they? Number two, do they even understand what you're trying to do? Will they allow what you're trying to do? If you buy agricultural, different types of restrictive land, you might can't even do what you're trying to do. So go in with an open mind, go in asking questions, reach out to your local county, the zoning planning, talk to your community, talk to the people of the community, ride around, survey the situation. If you see a bunch of people got wells, it's likely that you're going to have to get them. The price would not be that different. It'd probably be within 10 to 20% different. But understand, quality over price. Quality over price. What I mean by that, understand this, fam. Understand this. Service after the sale is more important than the sale. Service after the sale is more important than the sale. Make sure that you talk to your community, talk to the local people, and they will tell you response time. If you see a bunch of dislikes when you do Google ratings, some of these people don't even have a business in Google. They don't even have a website. They don't even have an email. Everything they deal with is word of mouth and cash. So understand this, there's no way you can look up some of these people other than having a conversation with your local homeowners, local property owners.